season. I get to throw the Diggs and Thielen, so it'll be cool, full circle, play those guys on Sunday.
Those last two drives in Indy, it seems like you really kind of succeed in that up-tempo, kind of no huddle, the sense of urgency, that the pacing. Do you hope to incorporate that maybe more throughout the game? Is that beneficial to you?
Maybe, maybe not. The thing is, defenses play you differently in those situations. They don't want to give up that big chunk yardage, so they're a little bit more softer. You can hit the underneath routes and kind of get chunks of gains like that. But again, I'm very comfortable in those situations. But again, throughout the game, if it's 10 minutes left in the second quarter and we try and go hurry up, we might not get the same type of defense that we get in a 2 minute. So it's kind of give or take there.
Hey, Taylor, you said it again today about the fact that you play every game, every play like it could be your last. With the more success you continue to have on the field, have you started to maybe change that mindset and maybe think about just the success you're having, that it's going to give you a chance to make your career even longer than maybe you thought it would have been?
No, I don't try and think like that. I think I play my best when I do play it like it's my last playing game, and that's what kind of got me to this point. So why change that now? I think that's when I play my best, and that's kind of who I am. So I'm gonna keep doing that.
And going back to last season, it seems like every time you're coming off the field after a big play, it doesn't matter if Chase Young is 50 yards away. He finds a way to get right to you and point at you, tap you on the back. Just having Chase back at practice, we saw the energy you brought, getting into the game. What kind of energy is Chase bringing the closer he gets to being on the field?
He brings that same type of energy, and you guys see it through training camp and during the games. Obviously he's not suited up, he's not playing, but he's part of the team, and he wants to do everything he can to be, to help the team in any way he can. So to have him back on the field suited up, it's going to be really exciting. Obviously he's a great player, and he brings that extra juice. So, we're all excited for him.
During that year where you weren't playing, if I remember right, you called Scott and asked if you could come be a coach, and he told you no, not yet. Do you think back to that and how life would be different if you were on the other side of this?
Yeah, there's some times where, you kind of forget, what you went through, and there's some days where your body's not feeling right and you're just not feeling up to, the task for the day. But, my 30-minute drive in, I always try and remind myself of where I was 2 years ago, and that, it's not like I have to come to work. I get to come play football. It's something I've always dreamed of, and, sometimes, again, when your body's hurting, it's hard to think that way. But, there's multiple times throughout the year where I just remind myself, hey, and this is what I wanted. This is what I dreamed of ever since I was a kid, and this is fun. I get to come play football and get paid to do it. It's a lot of fun.
Hey, Taylor, along with Chase being close, you probably get Dotson back in a little bit, and Logan's starting to come back. Schweitzer's going to be back. I just wonder if you think about the talent that may be available to you the second half of the season that's not there right now.
No, I don't really think about it. I'm really just focused on Minnesota and who we have against them. The guys have been playing great. Guys get injured. Whoever's stepping in, they've done a great job. We've won three in a row now. So if we can just keep winning with those guys out, I think that just makes us better in the long run. Getting those guys more experience, more reps. So just in case someone else goes down, they're ready to go. So, obviously we want those guys playing, but the guys stepping in right now, they're doing a great job.
What did you see kind of on third down this past game, and just what did you make of how you guys performed on that overall?
Not well. And it's tough on our defense when we can't convert third downs like that. So, our biggest goal as an offense is stay on the field. Because the longer you stay on the field, the more the percentages go up of you scoring. So if we can get better on third downs, the offense can, take off from there, and who knows what we can do.
You touched on how this team is the closest one you've been on. Where does that most help, whether it's on the field or just getting through practice? Where do you see that most pop up?
I think it's in probably every aspect of every day. Guys are excited to come to work because you're going to work with a bunch of guys that you love. You grind with, you work with, and it's never fun going to work with people you don't like. So the fact that all the coaches, players get along, we work hard together, and you know, it makes it a lot easier, especially when times are tough, when you're in the 3-game losing streak. So, you know, that camaraderie, and it starts from Rivera. It was like this in Carolina when I was there as well. You know, it means a lot. And I think it makes it easier on a lot of guys to come to work and do their best. And they want to do their best. They don't want to let their brother down. So I think it carries throughout practice, every day, meetings, and then ultimately on game day.
When you're extending the play and kind of moving around in the backfield, you talked about how you have to have that sense of, you know, how long you can do it. Is that something that you've refined over the years, or just something that you had?
I think it's kind of something I had. You know, I remember doing that stuff in high school a little bit, and I don't think it's something that you can really coach or practice. I think it's something that you kind of just feel, it's one of the strong suits of my game. Sometimes it gets me in a little bit of trouble when I try and do too much, but again, that's something I've been trying to work on. You know, when I am in that situation, I'm trying to make a big play. If there's opportunities there, let's take it. But if it's not, let's not make it a worse play.
When did you realize it was a strong suit of your game?
Probably in college. You know, there's multiple times where I was kind of dancing back there a little bit, and you know, we had some dudes at receivers at ODU, so they were getting open and we made some big plays doing that. So you see Aaron Rodgers do it a lot. He kind of sits in the pocket, he kind of dancing around there and just kind of helping himself in the pocket. And watching Aaron Rodgers for so long, you know, I was trying to emulate him, and it just kind of fell into my lap in high school and college.
I know we kind of joke about the buying shoes in the training room, but what does it take for you to get your body ready for the next game after each one?
A lot. You know, we have a lot of different, you know, things that we can do here for treatments, whether it's, you know, stem, ice, cold tubs, red bed, float tank, you know, you can name it. We got it. So I try and use everything I can to get my body back as quick as I can. But, you know, being 6 foot, 210 pounds, getting hit by 300-pound men multiple times a game, it takes a little bit to get back. So I try and get in there every day and feel good for Sunday.
And having Antonio Gibson more in space, do you, from your perspective, does that make him even more effective? Does that help you too at the quarterback position? Yeah,
you see some teams that can use their running backs at receivers, and you know, that's a kind of a matchup problem for the defense. You know, if you want to put a linebacker on him, okay, you think your linebacker can cover this guy, or do you want to take a safety out of the field and go cover him and, you know, do that? So, it's great to have him out there because he can do it. You know, obviously he played a receiver in college, so he knows how to run routes, he knows how to catch the ball, he understands the game. So, you know, the more we can do with the more people we have, I think it just makes us more dynamic and, you know, better on offense.
All right.
Thanks, guys.
Storm Blues. So